So assisting a migrant or refugee to manage cultural transition shock. So be wary of your own cultural glasses and views. Don't judge. Just because they do something differently, it doesn't make it wrong. Affirm the entrance culture by becoming a student of it also. Ask questions, find out why, find out how. You know, if they're dressed in their cultural attire, ask questions around it. You know, does the colour mean something? Because it generally does. Take on a role as a cultural broker. Find out more details, who they've gone to, what referral services are out there. It broadens our approach and our experience for the next group. Encourage your entrant to maintain contact with their own ethnic group. It's really important. Some cultures feel that, you know, I need to separate because I need to be living in Australia and I need to be Australian. To some degree, yes, it's true. There are many people in this country who have been in this country for very many years who still speak very little English. It's because they've never needed to live outside of their cultural group. They get a job and they speak their language and they stay within that culture. So it's really important that we encourage them to maintain connections with their culture, but to also broaden that a little bit. To build bridges with other groups. It's really important for them to learn. And coming to Australia, it's very hard not to build bridges with other cultures. You know, you just need to go into a room, and I'm sure there's many cultures in this room. It's very challenging not to. You know, English language learning, it's so important. It's really, you know, without the English language in Australia, in an English-speaking country, you're not going to get very far. This one's really important. Small achievements, realistic. We don't want them to set their goals too high, but we don't also want to set their goals too high for them if we are working with them in that capacity. It's important for them to achieve small steps so they can see that they're getting somewhere as opposed to failing. We have a lot of clients who are extremely well educated, like extremely well educated, who come to a country where they may realise that they will never ever work in that industry or at that level. And so addressing that earlier on and getting them to sort of identify some areas where they can work, if not towards that, to that position, but potentially in that same industry, is really important. And be sensitive to where they are in that settlement journey. Are they in the culture shock? Are they at the acceptance stage? Where are they? And you can gauge that very sort of quickly. If somebody withdrawn, leave them. Don't pick on them in a group environment, because that's just going to make it a whole lot worse, because they won't be there next week. So a refugee is searching their way through a strange and frightening society. Their patterns that sustain life at home are no longer sufficient. Loss of patterns of conduct is intensified by the uncertainty of what kind of behaviour is acceptable or not acceptable in their new environment. And without clear guidance from the host, which is us, a migrant or refugee doesn't know what to do. The need for guidance is greatest in the initial stages of resettlement. So it's really important that our government supports the settlement program, where we are guiding refugees predominantly through the settlement program or settlement stages.